Hello. Today we're going to be exploring the subject of analog horror. If you don't know what analog horror is, remember my video Maple County? That was an example of it. Analog horror is a genre, or a subgenre, that exists in the world of the era of the VHS. Kind of, a little bit. So analog is relating to or using signals or information represented by a continuously variable physical quantity such as spatial positioning, voltage, etc. Or analog, a person or thing seen as comparable to another. Which is oddly interesting. It's interesting oddly enough. The oddly thing is that is interesting. That is interesting because it pertains to what we're talking about today. And the alternates. The alternates are kind of the idea behind, if you remember this video, the Mandela Catalog. This was made by a one Alex Kister.
We are currently receiving countless reports of an unidentified hostile organism that we'll refer to as alternates.
A lot of them, from what I've seen, start from this informational type of video, this is actually like 1950s propaganda videos from the government to tell you how to survive an atomic bomb. That's the kind of videos that I get the vibe of. So this is not just analog in the days of VHS, this is old analog in the terms of archival footage and stuff like that. You know, things that are so far in the past but baked into the subconscious because they are effectively propaganda and they're supposed to be baked into the subconscious to get you to think one way or another. So to use this as a medium to tell a story that is a horror story is an effective use because the technology is inherently jank, and kind of the horror comes from it being jank, and also the information being presented to you that there is an entity that looks just like you that is trying to take over your life, and when it finds you, it will make an almost perfect facsimile of you, or it has already made a perfect facsimile of your parents, or loved ones, or friends, or neighbors, or colleagues. They could be anyone. Anywhere, at any time. Even me. But I'm not! Ding! So let's look into analog horror, because there's so much more to analog horror than just the Mandela Catalog or Maple County. Do not believe his lies. The Mandela Catalog. It's film theorists. You know, you do professional research. I'm here to do my research, which is, because I say it in a more authoritative tone, I'm gonna let people assume that I know what I'm talking about, which I have not been able to say properly this whole video. Let me look at something that I found, which is called blue channel thalassin.
Or a loved one are suffering from any of the following symptoms: lack of feeling, emotional outbursts, fog of the mind, or memory loss. This may be a sign of onset AED or advanced emotional deterioration. Today, 7 in 10 people over the age of 21 report experiencing emotional degradation severe enough to hinder everyday tasks, such as workplace performance, social interaction, and general well-being. Emotional stability is required for a functional and healthy mind. Correcting AED used to require rigorous testing and invasive procedures, costing time, effort, and money. Today, the solution is thalassin. Using our modern understanding of brain mapping, thalassin is able to reproduce the emotions necessary for any occasion. Not only does thalassin restore lost emotion, but patients have reported emotions at a higher and more consistent quality than ones produced non-chemically. Included in every pack of thalassin are these common emotions: happiness, sadness, anger, fear, and relief. Also, look out for over-the-counter options such as jealousy, hope, frustration, and pride. Tired of only experiencing...
Where's the horny option?
Or maybe interested in expanding your emotional palette? Cutting-edge brain mapping technology has not only allowed us to refine existing emotions, but has also allowed for the creation of new emotions and emotional experiences. With Thalassin Plus, experience emotions beyond previous natural capabilities. These new emotions include degrance, humber, nage, dorselessness, Andric, Veronate, Pawnish, Harford, Time, Trantiveness, Teluge, Brick. To experience the power of Thalassin, call the number on your screen now before supply.
That's where those pictures came from! There was a post on Reddit like forever ago that was a picture of those emotions, and it was like a big post, and I thought they made it. That's how things don't, like, if it doesn't get credited, it doesn't go anywhere, and I don't know who makes it. Gooseworks! I've seen those before. My god. Trantiveness. I love Teluge. I want to experience Teluge. Like a heaping helping of Teluge mixed with a little bit of Trantiveness. Onlint, Loric. They didn't even mention the Onlint. I want some Onlint. Loric. Anyway, this is like well done, Gooseworks. Really fun stuff. But yeah, no, that's another example of what analog horror is. It's like an old... This blue screen has such a strong impact in my memory. It may not have the same impact in your memory. Encoding delay? Why? That seems to be fine. Yeah, so this is the kind of concept behind analog horror. A lot of things exist in this world, and there's actually a playlist that someone named The Analog Collector has made that kind of collects a lot of different analog horror things. Such as Chimpy Chippa's band commercial. Okay, what is this?
Okay, lads, let's take this from the top. Do you want to know what's driving everyone bananas? Well, come on down to Chimpy Chippa's. Enjoy our wide range of milkshakes, burgers, and fries, and we'll have you coming back for more. Are you as excited as Chippa the Chimp is to, eat all of, Shit. Sorry. Bloody monkey. Just, who cares? Just, we're gonna do it again. Just give me another go. From the top. Do you want to know what's driving everyone bananas? And Chimpy Chippas and our iconic Chimpy Cheeseburger. Do sit down on our weekly specials. So what are you waiting for? Because Chipper the Chimp is waiting for you. Look, I know you guys spent time on making this monkey thing, but has no one realised how fucking creepy it looks? Or is it just me? Because I can tell you right now, I'd never take my daughter to...
So I'd say this is an example of something that isn't necessarily one of the scariest things I've ever seen. In fact, personally, I didn't think it was scary at all. However, I'm not here to just shit all over Spring Talk Pictures creations. That's not what I'm here about. I want to dissect why this doesn't work and the other ones work really well. Because I know there's a video, not this one, every analog horror video. Here we go.
This year we're celebrating 35 years in business. Did you know we've come up with 6 all-new value combo coupons? And if you sign up for our email club, you'll save 15% off.
Well, that's a little on the nose.
Did you know?
Okay, so funny, whatever. It's a parody. But I think like if a good parody needs to understand the exact essence of what does work for something, even if you're making fun of it, you need to understand why it works for the people that it works for to get there. And this kind of does that. Yeah, 1 second. What is this? Oh, did I watch this one? I think this might be the one I was thinking of. Okay, so this is an example of a good parody, right? It knows what it's making fun of. I think the comments are just like, when your parody is so well made, it wraps around to being scary again. That's kind of what it is, because that was by itself unsettling, and analog horror can be really unsettling if it's done right, and you can do a parody that's so good that it does wrap around all the way to unsettling. By the way, this is a great video. How audio enhances the horror of Five Nights at Freddy's. Great video. The other thing that I want to show you is something that kind of goes beyond just analog horror. There's a video by the Mystery Flesh Pit guy, girl, I don't know. The person who does the Mystery Flesh Pit also has a YouTube channel. I don't know if you knew this. It's called Mystery Flesh Pit National Park Historic Archive. And the first video that they ever put out was this one. And this one's just like, it's fascinating because it is technically, I think, in the genre of analog horror. But then again, the whole premise of the Mystery Flesh Pit, which if you don't know about, you should look it up, is kind of in the same vein as why this analog horror as a concept is scary. It's something rooted in the past, because the story of the Mystery Flesh Pit is all told from the perspective of articles and memorabilia and little informational placards that are from the era of when the Mystery Flesh Pit existed and before the disaster of the Mystery Flesh Pit. And so you uncover the universe through in-universe clues that occurred after the event occurred. And this is one of them.
The following message is transmitted at the request of the Texas Department of Public Safety, the United States Geological Survey, and the Permian Basin Recovery Corporation. The United States Geological Survey has issued a geobiological activity advisory for the following counties: Cook County, Gumption County, Howard County, Midland County, Sterling County, until 2:18 a.m. Central Daylight Time at 10:48 p.m. Central Daylight Time. Seismic EKG monitoring stations detected muscle contractions originating from the northeastern limb of the Permian Basin superorganism. This event is expected to cause moderate to severe damage to property, utility services, and infrastructure. Residents are advised to seek shelter immediately. If you do not have access to an emergency food, water, clothing, flashlights with extra batteries, and battery-powered radio. During this event, you may experience headaches, nausea, fever, hallucinations, dizziness, mild seizures, temporary changes in vision, reduced or enhanced cognitive ability, limited precognition, memory loss, and muscle cramps. These effects are temporary and will stop once the event has concluded. Do not exit your shelter until help. Do not use telephone or cell phones except in the case of emergencies. Stay tuned to local news media outlets for continuing information on the situation.
So this is cool, right? This came out December of 2020. It is now 2022, so this was over a year ago. This is actually before a lot of these analog horror videos came out. It's not the first analog horror thing by a long shot, but it is one of the earlier ones, and it has a great example of why it and a lot of the analog horror things work so well. It's something that you know, even if it's an emergency, you know this screen. You know this. And because you know it, even if it's something bad, you can be used to it and you can understand it. However, there's already strange things that are happening in this emergency broadcast that really mark it out as something that you should pay attention to and something that is not what you expect. And that is the basis of what makes it so kind of creepy, because it's unsettling, because it's something that you expect to know and it's not what it is. It's not a tornado warning. It's not like a earthquake warning. No, it's geobiological activity advisory. That makes you go, what the fuck is that? You don't know what that is, but you know those words, geobiological. So, okay, geological, biological, something that's on the scale of geology and biology. That's weird at first, and that's like the whole reason why the Mystery Flesh Pit works so well. But also, just like the rest of it going on as it continues, The fact that it is a recording of a screen and you have the environmental things happening that are kind of coinciding with the message that is being relayed, and it's rooted in reality, right? It's rooted in reality, and that's kind of the bigger point of it. Like it's rooted in something that could potentially be real. You see these counties, you know roughly the size of what a county is in a state if you're from America. This thing, whatever the frick it is, it's so big. And you hear them talking about how there's an activity warning off the northeastern limb of the Permian Basin superorganism. All of these are pretty much new words to anybody that's ever read English and grew up knowing English. All of these are pretty new, but you know the combinations of them and you know the basis of the context that you're getting it, and all of them spell bad news. So this event is expected to cause moderate to severe damage. Also, like, understating what it could possibly do, and just like the list of things and the things happening in the noise. Like, you could say a lot about the production quality and like the different things and the actual realism of it, but the fact that it is there and it's happening all aids to the idea that it's kind of real. That's the other thing about analog horror. It taps into this thing where you don't know if it's not real. You can play a lot of horror games and you know that they're not real because you're playing a game. But when you're watching an informational video like this, you don't automatically